We're now less than a year away from a decision that will impact more than 70,000 drivers every day. And so our Lighthouse team is taking a 360 look at a decision expected in the spring. Specifically, what do we do with the Interstate 794 Lake Interchange? It's just a slight stretch of highway linking 794 to the Hoan Bridge as it cuts through downtown Milwaukee. Our Lighthouse journalist Ben Jordan has a 360 report on a number of perspectives on a lightning rod issue.
The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says this 50-year-old elevated freeway is deteriorating and it needs to be addressed. The big question is how. In this 360 report, we're going to hear from 4 different perspectives on what's best for the future of 794. Milwaukee's mayor shares his position. A business owner explains why she's torn. But we start with 2 Milwaukeans who are advocating for 2 opposite outcomes.
It's certainly not feasible, practical, or desirable for people who use the freeway.
Charlie Rosenberg cares so much about keeping 794 that he's attended public meetings and even wrote an opinion piece this week in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
Obviously, you can't just leave the freeway if it's falling apart, so it has to be rebuilt.
The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says there are 3 overarching options. Reconstruct what's already here, improve the freeway by changing some design features, or remove it altogether and utilize streets on the ground. What would your concern be for commute times?
During busy times of the day, I could easily see it being a 20-minute delay. In really bad times, maybe 30 minutes.
Charlie can't stand the thought of the third option as someone who frequents the freeway.
All this traffic coming on the freeway at 55 miles an hour is suddenly going to be moving all backed up behind one red light after another. It's going to be a nightmare.
Gard Picor is with Rethink 794.
I think you'd see a lot of apartments, some new office, new storefronts, new retail, new hotels.
The group is advocating for this stretch of the freeway to be torn down.
This used to be the heart of the Italian community.
Gard envisions a return to what these streets looked like back in 1970.
This was a dense area where people worshiped, they shopped, they lived, they ate, they worked. And look at us now.
He says there is no disputing the change would come with slightly longer commute times.
I think the real question and kind of the better question is, what do we value as a community?
He thinks the trade-off seen in these renderings is worth what he considers to be a small inconvenience. Pictures show the potential to add to the skyline, the local economy, and downtown green space.
I think the real question and kind of the better question is, what do we value as a community? Do we value faster commute times, or do we value addressing our housing crisis and building our economy?
Mayor Cavalier Johnson agrees and says tearing down 794 is a key aspect of the city's downtown 2040 plan.
I want folks to think about this, right? I want folks to think about what the city can be, what the city should be 30 years from now.
He sees it as an opportunity to build out up to 30 acres of prime real estate.
In my heart of hearts, yeah, I would like to see something like that.
That land is currently in the footprint of the freeway.
To have more development, to generate more property taxes, and to create more jobs and opportunity for the people of Milwaukee.
WisDOT's study shows if the Lake Interchange is removed, the streets just north of the 3rd Ward would see the biggest increase in traffic, particularly St. Paul Avenue and Clybourne Street.
This is our front of the house, if you want to call it that.
We wanted to hear the perspective of a small business owner in the 3rd Ward.
This is where all the good stuff is made.
We found Joanna Vitale, who just opened a deli shop on Water Street, 2 blocks south of 794. What would your preferred option be here?
My preferred option would be to tear it down and have more traffic generated in this area. But on the other hand, how's the parking going to be handled? It's already difficult to park in the 3rd Ward.
So you're conflicted?
Yeah, I am. I could go either way, I guess.
WisDOT says it's spending the next several months narrowing 9 potential concepts down to 3 by this fall and figuring out how much each of them would cost. Those will once again involve either rebuilding, improving, or removing the 794 Lake Interchange. Reporting in downtown Milwaukee, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.